Once upon a time in the meadow. Once upon a time in a vast green meadow, there lived a young fox named Felix. Unlike other foxes, Felix was not the fastest or the strongest, but he had something that set him apart, his keen sense of observation. While the other animals in the meadow hurried about, always chasing after their daily tasks, Felix would sit quietly, watching, learning, and thinking. He noticed the patterns in the way the wind moved through the grass, the way the river flowed, and how the birds always knew when a storm was coming. One bright morning, the animals of the meadow gathered near the river. The beavers had built a large dam to create a pond, and all the creatures enjoyed the cool water on warm days. But Felix noticed something that the others did not. The dam had cracks. The beavers were too busy celebrating their hard work to see the danger. Felix tried to warn them. The dam is weak. If a strong rain comes, it will break. But the other animals laughed. "Felix, you always worry too much," said a rabbit. "The dam is fine. Let's enjoy the pond." Felix did not argue. Instead, he decided to prepare. He found a dry hill near the trees and dug a small burrow, gathering food and leaves to make it comfortable. "If the dam breaks," he thought, "I will have a safe place." Days passed, and dark clouds rolled in. The wind howled through the trees, and soon heavy rain began to pour. The river swelled, rushing faster and stronger than before. The cracks in the dam deepened until, crash! The dam collapsed, sending water flooding through the meadow. The animals panicked. The rabbits ran in all directions. The birds flew away in a hurry, and the deer struggled to find high ground. Felix, however, remained calm. He ran to his burrow on the hill and watched as the water swept through the meadow. When the storm finally passed, the animals returned, shivering and tired. Their homes were damaged, and their food was washed away, but Felix, who had planned ahead, had extra food and a dry place to rest. Seeing their struggles, Felix did not boast. Instead, he shared his food and helped them rebuild their homes. The beavers, realizing their mistake, built a stronger dam, and the other animals learned to prepare for the future. From that day on, the meadow was a wiser place. The animals no longer ignored the warnings of nature, and they understood the importance of being prepared. And Felix, the thoughtful fox, was no longer just another creature in the meadow. He became their guide, teaching them that sometimes patience and observation are the greatest strengths of all. Message: thinking ahead and preparing for challenges can save us from unnecessary trouble. Acting without foresight can lead to difficulties, but being observant and patient helps us overcome obstacles with ease. Vocabulary. Words from the story: observe, meaning to watch carefully and notice details. Example: the scientist observed the stars through his telescope. Burrow, meaning a hole or tunnel dug by an animal for shelter. Example: the rabbit hid in its burrow when it saw the hawk. Foresight, meaning the ability to predict or plan for the future. Example: his foresight to carry an umbrella saved him from getting wet in the sudden rain. Panic, meaning a sudden feeling of fear that causes people to act without thinking. Example: the students panicked when they realized they had forgotten their homework. Swelled, meaning grew larger or expanded. Example: after the heavy rain, the river swelled and flooded the nearby fields. Collapsing, meaning falling down or breaking apart suddenly. Example: the old bridge was at risk of collapsing after the storm. Struggled, meaning faced difficulties while trying to do something. Example: the lost hiker struggled to find his way back to camp. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.